From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big evening here on Evenings LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. Less than 24 hours ago, Chuck Schumer confirmed all the reporting in this channel that the fourth stimulus package is under reconciliation. And the voting is coming across the corner. I'll be going over all the incredible breaking new details this Saturday evening. I'll be going over the fourth stimulus check, how much you're going to get. I'll be going over the voting time, and I'll go over the breaking news, no less than 9 stories across the board. Then, in the second half of this recording, we go to this stimulus that'll raise your benefits up a lifetime, including my veterans' benefits will be lifted up. The Memorial Day salute that we want. More benefits for everyone from SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans benefits, and the new benchmark that could change a generation. Then in the middle of this recording, we go over thousands of dollars you can get right now, and the viewers that literally every hour are getting that money, I want you to be the next person. It's a big night. It's a big evening. I have a lot of exciting news. I'm excited you're here. Let's get to it. This is a big evening of Evenings LA. Doing it's a beautiful Saturday night here in Southern California. How is the weather where you are? It is wonderful weather here. Been very overcast. June gloom in May. But how's the weather where you are? Drop in the comments. I'd love to hear where you're watching from and how's the weather. In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today, we have a lot of incredible breaking news. It starts with Leader Schumer's announcement last night, and it goes over 9 other prior press releases and in breaking news statements all this week. I have all the details in this video. Then in the second half of the video, we're going to go over this stimulus that'll raise your benefits up, especially if you're veterans. And then in the middle of this video, a lot of money for you to get. So this is LALATE, the only 24-hour a day, 7 days a week financial news channel. Live in the morning, taped in the evenings. After this is Evenings Crypto. And then our overnight show, Late Night Crypto. So jump into the comments and comment away. But first, subscribe. LALATE is now at 400,000 subscribers, 1 year, a YouTube record. Next stop, 1 million. So subscribe right now. Also, like this video. 3,000 likes. Let's get there and consider becoming a member. Let's get right to fourth stimulus starting right now. Fourth stimulus has both a House bill and a Senate proposal. Let's look at that House bill that starts with Jalopal. Jalopal's House bill provides a stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. Let's analyze how that is. And if you're in the live chat just after 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, vote House or Senate, but not just yet. Let's go over the details. So the House bill provides a stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. Then the Senate proposal, on the other hand, provides it from July to December. But before you vote, let's look at that monthly amount. So there you go. The Jalopal's House bill provides $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter. The Senate proposal, on the other hand, provides an amount unknown, but word on the street is it's this. Oh yes, $2,000 a month for 6 months, or $1,400 a month for 6 months, $8,400. So that is per person. But let's go back to Jalopal's bill because there's a macroeconomic factor at issue. Pandemic plus 1 year. Some legislators are contending that the pandemic may be over. So for legislative purposes, Jalopal's bill would provide potentially just 1 year stimulus checks instead of pandemic plus 1 year. And 1 year would be how much? $13,000 over 12 months compared to 6 months and this. Yeah, so now if you're in the live chat just after 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time or later in the evening, jump in the live on the pin in the comments and vote House or Senate. Which one do you like, House or Senate? And tell me where you're watching from. Well, here we go. Let's go over the amounts across the board and when you get in all that wonderful detail. First, who gets a fourth stimulus check? Do veterans? Yes, you do. How about everyone else? Yes, if you got the third stimulus check, you get the fourth stimulus check. 75,000 or less, single individual, you get the fourth stimulus check. Married couple, 150,000 or less, you get the fourth stimulus check. Double it. Household four or less, you get the fourth stimulus check, up to 4 members. And then, yes, beneficiaries like veterans get the fourth stimulus check. Is it income? No, it's not income, so it's not taxable. Is it taken out for child support? We don't know that answer yet. Would it come in waves? No, it can't come in waves. It's a monthly stimulus check. And then the questions are, when would the first check land? Remember, they're legislators. They make the representation, not me. They represent the vote is in July. That means the first check would be in the month of July for the month of July. Is there a different stimulus check for adult dependents, minor dependents, anyone else? Nope, same stimulus check for everyone. And there you go. That is the fourth stimulus check update of 2021. But boy, I got that breaking news story in the last 8 hours, 10 hours, I guess not by now, from Leader Schumer. I'll be going over that in just a second. But let me give you a preview of the second half of this recording. Fifth stimulus will raise people's benefits up, plus veterans, and apply a new benchmark. And that benchmark, we're getting more details about today that signals that it could be a lot higher, the highest we've seen for a generation. That's coming up in the second half of this recording. How much is fifth stimulus? But let's turn to some very exciting details. And boy, you folks have been really killing it. You have been killing it. It used to be every 3 hours I would get a message from a viewer saying, I got rent or utilities or SNAP. Now it's going to every hour almost. And if you're one of those success stories, or drop in the comments in live chat or in the pinned comments or post to social media so I see it. It inspires me. It inspires other viewers to go get it, because that is how we do it on this channel. And let's go over that big money that's landing right now. $350 billion of Atlanta City, County, and State. This last week and next week. What is it for? It's for you. But what is it specifically for? Rent, utilities, homeowners help, and homeowners utilities. Get a pen and paper ready, because I got a lot of money to give you during this recording, and I want you to stay to the very end. So I'm going to go over this money to start. How much for rent? How do you get it? What do you say? Let's go over the details. First, how much is it? About $5,000. For 4 to 6 months of rent. How do you get it? Get that pen and paper ready. You're going to reach out to 6 locations. They all have different eligibility. So if you get a no at one, go to the next. And ultimately, this is where you're going to look. City Hall, City Housing Authority. County Hall, County Housing Authority. State Hall, State Housing Authority. What are you going to say? Rent assistance because of COVID, or mortgage assistance because of COVID. You don't say any other words like stimulus checks. And there you go. About $5,000 of money for rent and money for utilities as well. I'm really excited for you, but we just started on that one. Tim got money for rent yesterday. Congratulations to him. And then Lynn got money for her son, and also money for herself for SNAP. Let's turn to that. What is SNAP? It is money for your food. It is money for your food. And it is a lot of money. First, we're going to go over how much money it is. Then we're going to go over how you get it. And then finally, when you get it. All right. How much money is it? It's a fortune. Family of 4 in Hawaii is now getting upwards of $16,000 a year. Wow. Why so much money? Because there's a Trump executive order for 6 months and a Biden executive order for 6 months that raised everyone's benefits up 15%. What is SNAP? It is money for your food. How do you get it? Reach out to Department of Agriculture, or call DOA, or call 211 and get connected over to DOA. Then finally, what's the eligibility? It's generally about the same as a stimulus check. So go get it. We're doing really well. 9 minutes of this video, and we got in $16,000 for that SNAP in Hawaii for a family of 4, and $5,000 for rent. We are kicking it. But boy, I'm going to go to some exciting details, and it's starting right now, and I want to thank that viewer last night. You know, the spirit of this channel is everyone helping each other, and a viewer last night said, LALATE, as to this, tell the viewers I got my check. Tell them to be patient. It's coming. Oh, it's one of these 2 items I'm going to get to right now. And the first one is money coming back from your state. One viewer got $5,000 for us. What is it? How do you get it? And when do you get it? All right, let's go over what it is. It is the overpayment of unemployment benefits from your state that they asked to return back to them. The federal government stepped in and said, states who asked you to return back to them money that they overpaid you due to computer error, that should have been your money to keep. Oh, boy. So the federal government has now ordered the states to return that money back to you. So how are you going to get it? On the bank account, you have a file with your unemployment department. Finally, when are you going to get it? It depends on your state. It is automatic, but if you want to know routing times, reach out to your respective state. Which brings me now to that second item, and that's where that one viewer came in. Last night on Overnight's Crypto, a very nice viewer jumped into a show which is chatting about cryptocurrency. He said, I want you to tell viewers that I got my money for this yesterday, Friday, and I want them to be patient because they're going to get the money as well. So let's go over what that is, how much you're going to get, when you're going to get it, how you're going to get it, and how to track when it's coming. What is this? It's money from the federal government. This is the return of the money you paid to them for your taxes on your 2020 unemployment benefits. One viewer got $2,000. Let's go over first how much money this is. Let's say you had $9,000 of unemployment benefits last year. You paid to IRS a total tax bill 2020 return of $5,000, of which $4,000 was your taxes on that unemployment benefits. Congratulations, you're getting back a check of $4,000. Next, how are you getting the check? In the mailbox, beige or white check, a beige or white envelope with a beige check in there. So be surgically careful with that mail over the next few weeks. Go through it very carefully because it's a laser thin envelope. You don't want to miss that check. Next, when are you getting the money? Now, IRS originally said that everyone's money was going to be sent out by the end of May, and somehow that got translated incorrectly by viewers as received by the month of May. No, it's sent out by the month of May. So this is IRS. Give it about an extra week or two. Bring it into the second week of June. Now, that's what that viewer last night wanted to say. He got his money yesterday in the mail. So he was a single filer, non-complex return. They went out last week, so they're getting paid first. Then single filer complex returns, they got paid second. And then joint filers, they got paid just the end of this last week. So you are on the last. So you would possibly see yours in about 2 weeks from now. So there you go. Wow, we are killing it. We are killing it. Money for food, internet, rent, utilities, and then all this other stuff. But guess I got what? You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that thing. For stimulus. Boy, so what did Leader Schumer do last night? Speaker Schumer, what did Speaker Schumer say last night? He literally came out and confirmed my reporting. So I had told you that the president was officially going to end bipartisan negotiations yesterday. I also told you that the House and Senate Democrats were going to finalize this by July 4th. I also told you that they were already underway with the reconciliation process. He confirmed all three things late last night. They're underway. They're officially announcing they've already been underway for the reconciliation. They will be done by the first week of July, and the president can meet with whoever he wants to meet, but the congressional members are moving forward without any waiting around from anyone else. Wow, this is incredible. And guess who started all this? Yeah, that person, Jalapal. Jalapal started this all week ago when Jalapal wrote a leader, Schumer and Speaker Pelosi, a letter saying, what are you waiting for? Just call the vote. Jalapal's contention was that the reconciliation bills have essentially been written. Just call the vote and let's get going. Well, when Jalapal introduced to the House floor that Jalapal multiple stimulus check bill to the House floor as a House bill, those House Democrats came forward and co-signed a letter to the president saying, we're going to put this four stimulus checks into the four stimulus package when it gets done. Well, what happened when Jalapal wrote Leader Schumer and Speaker Pelosi a letter just a few days ago? 12 of those House members co-signed the letter to Leader Schumer. Among those who co-signed the letter were among those who demanded the president put monthly stimulus checks. Wow. Which brings me to the second item of breaking great news, and that was a week ago. And this is just mind-blowing. 7 House members wrote the president a letter saying that when the fourth stimulus package is done, we're going to work with you to put those monthly stimulus checks in there. Work with you is a euphemism because they're not going to work, because that's basically saying we're going to write the bill and we're going to talk with you about it. Remember, the president doesn't write legislation. Legislators write legislation. So they're the ones that are going to put the fourth stimulus checks in the fourth stimulus package. But who are these people? Why would they claim they can write it themselves? Because they're actually on the subcommittee that writes the stimulus checks. These 7 House Democrats who wrote the president are part of the very small subcommittee, the House Ways and Means subcommittee, that is tasked exclusively and solely to write about stimulus checks in any stimulus package. They did the first, they did the second, and now they're telling the president on the fourth, they're putting that in there. Oh my goodness. I mean, this is just incredible. They are writing the president no less than a week before the voting starts on the reconciliation process, saying we are putting those monthly stimulus checks in there. Oh my God. And then came the president's message about that same later that same day, not this Friday, but the Friday before, where the president said, I'm going to give it to 7 days, and after that, I'm really not going to wait around to call the vote. And guess what happened? He's not waiting around to call the votes, exactly as he so promised. But then this last Tuesday was fascinating as the president came out with a really surprising breaking news statement about forced stimulus, which is really interesting, but I got to slow it down because it's complicated. So he is paying for the forced stimulus by raising the U.S. corporate tax rate from 21% to a higher rate. Initially, he wanted higher, then he brought it down. There was a deal with that, bringing it down with the Democrats. So what did he say on Tuesday? He said he had spoken to G7 countries about raising the global corporate tax rate to 15%. What is that thing? That is the corporate tax rate internationally. So by raising the global corporate tax rate, a business, let's say in San Diego, would not relocate operations to France because the corporate tax rate does not encourage them as any much savings to move it over there. Well, that was the start of the day. It got a lot better. The president reportedly told insiders that when forced stimulus is finished and out the door, if he gets those G7 countries to literally sign on the dotted line about a 15% global corporate tax rate, then the president will come back and reduce our U.S. corporate tax rate back to where it was before the forced stimulus negotiations started. Oh my goodness, this is just incredible. So we can get multiple stimulus checks, and they're going to reduce the corporate tax rate lower than even where it is right now under the proposal. Incredible. And then it got even more incredible on Wednesday when those Senate Democrats came out and did what you've been asking for, talking. You've heard very little from them. And they came out and said, we saw a counter proposal from 3 Republicans. We're not doing it. Call the vote. The president on Thursday said, call the vote. And then Friday, Chuck Schumer did what I told you earlier in this video. He said, I appreciate the president making the effort to meet bipartisan support, but he didn't get it, so we're calling the vote. We are already underway with the reconciliation process. It'll take us some time, but we will be done by July 4th. And there you go. Oh my goodness. So that's just incredible. But what's even better news is if you got that rent, utility, SNAP, homeowners assistance, and if you've reached out to try to find it yourself and having problems, don't worry. Reach out to the volunteers. They're on the community page, and the community page is in the description of this video. If you go to the description of this video, open it up, and then you'll see an emoji of a house. It sends you a link over to news.la.com/community, the community page. At the top of the page is a picture of some cats, and lower on the page are the volunteers. Reach out to them. They can help you get that big money. And I'll be back with you in 60 seconds with more exciting news about forced stimulus and fifth stimulus, items you've never heard, coming up in just a second. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Evenings LALATE with more exciting new details about your fourth stimulus check and your fifth stimulus package. How are ya? How's the weather where you are? Top in the comments where you're watching from and how's the weather. This is LA, your 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel. Coming up next is evening's crypto. Oh boy. And then overnight's crypto. Tonight may be the night of a potential crypto crash. We will see. It has been down. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers. Next step, 1 million. I want you part of this family. Also like this video and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. The link's at the top of the channel, the pinned comment. In just a second, you'll see the virtues of being a member covered when I get to fifth stimulus, which is starting right now. Fifth stimulus heats up this fall with a two-bill, two-step, two-month process, and that's for that SSI reform. That includes money, more money for my veterans. Let's go over the details and also understand how it works. First, they'll raise up your benefit limits. Then they'll remove the asset limit, add an inflationary benchmark, and then remove the marriage penalty and remove the income exclusion. Let's go over the breaking details of this, go through the calculation, and then understand how and where this would land. It's all wonderful news. First, they're going to raise up your benefits one big time. Who's you? My veterans, and also everyone else. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits. Then they'll apply a benchmark. That benchmark is inflation. Now, we all know what inflation is, but what's a benchmark and how does it work? This is how it works. Every December, they look at your benefits, and if the benchmark is 0, then your benefits stay the same. If the benchmark is 1%, then your benefits go up 1%. Well, the benchmark this time will be inflation. This is brand new. Now, let me explain to you why this is absolutely insanely good news. Because the inflation rate is expected to be the highest level it's been in a generation when they look at your benefits in December. Here's how a benchmark works. It steps you up based upon that number, and you always stay at that number going forward, so you never step down. Over the last week, we've tried to see where that inflation rate may be in December. Jeremy Siegel 2 weeks ago said maybe 20%. Head of the Federal Reserve out of Georgia said the growth rate's going from 4 to 10%, 10.5%. And then we had all these analysts that came out in the last week said maybe the inflation will be about 4 to 7%. Let's use 6% as an example, because why this is such good news. First, they'll raise your benefits up. Then they'll look at the inflation rate when they were at that 11 December. Let's say it's 6% inflation. If it's 6% inflation, then your benefits would move up an additional 6%, not just for 1 year, but lifetime. This is a step up. So once you step up, that's your new number. You go plus 6%, and you'll always be at plus 6% as long as you're alive. Now, if the year after that, the inflation rate is 2%, you'll go up another 2%. That would be 8% plus 8%. It's great news. What else is happening on this SSI and SSDI reform that also helps my veterans? They're going to be removing the asset cap. Dating back to a 1980s law, it's going to go away. It prevented you from holding more than $3,000 on bank account. Just in time to get rid of that before those stimulus checks arrive. Then they're going to remove the income cap. It's dating back to a horrible 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. They're going to remove it so you can go work, make $1,000, $2,000 a month, and still stay on benefits. And finally, they're going to remove the marriage penalty. Oh boy, this is exciting. So the marriage penalty is horrible. It prevents you from getting married for fear of losing benefits. The marriage penalty is going to go away. You'll be able to marry your longtime life interest. Love is going to win. And if you're married, you will no longer suffer from a disqualification of benefits. Way wonderful and much more beneficial than the Warren Plan. The Warren Plan was only going to raise you up a little bit amount of money and then not apply these benchmarks, use a different benchmark, not going to give you the marriage penalty removal or the asset cap removal, the income cap removal. You're getting a lot more money under this fifth stimulus. It's incredible. So when does this heat up? It heats up in September. It's a two-bill, two-step process. You're likely to see the benefits hit your account by about October, November. And then you'll get that letter in December talking about your benefits next year. All right, so let me turn to another important subject, which is under fifth stimulus, there's a lot of other money there for single people. The president calls fifth stimulus the American Family Act. But understand, it's a bad term because there's a lot of stuff in the fifth stimulus for single people, for bachelors, for hazard pay, single individuals, for seniors who are single. There's a lot of that in the fifth stimulus. But in a 30-minute video that's currently at 25 minutes, I don't have time to go over everything that's in the fifth stimulus package. That's why I have membership. The membership link's at the top of the chat, a pinned comment. Every day, members are sent out a message from me that delineates by PDFs or by chronology what is in the fourth stimulus, in the fifth stimulus, and in the third stimulus. So you look at it and say, oh, now I got it. Now, it's important to understand that most Americans don't know what's in the fourth or fifth stimulus. When polled last week, Politico's viewers got the following response. More than half of them had no idea what was in the fourth or fifth stimulus package at all, and that those that had some sense of it had very little, if any. So people don't know what's in the fourth or fifth stimulus. And it's going to be important to at least subscribe to this channel, hit that subscribe button, because when we go into July, less than 30 days from now, there's a lot of things happening. If you don't know which one is yours, it's going to be like baggage claim at the airport Memorial Day weekend. And you think, or you look, and all of a sudden there's 5 different bags that look exactly the same. So here's number one. In the month of July, there's a budget bill. That's not this stimulus package. In the month of July, there's some Jalapal Stanlow bills. Not this one. In the month of July, there's the fourth stimulus check going out, what we just talked about. There's also the third stimulus check. Totally different. So you see how things get sort of confusing. Finally, it's important for me to go over the voting time for the fourth stimulus package. I want you to understand, even though it is a Memorial Day weekend, there may be less of you because people are away, that you're going to have all this information and come in next Tuesday when people start to potentially jump in the comments and say, so have they called the vote and sent the checks out? You'll be able to respond to them. No, it's not one vote and one check. So let's go over the details. To pass a reconciliation, it's upwards of 9 voting events. So it's not something you can do in 24 hours. I'm going to go over all the details for you right now. Remember, these are under the Constitution. It's not arbitrary or capricious or made up by a legislator, made up by Nancy or Chuck. This is actually in the Constitution. It's the required way they have to do it. So it takes 9 steps. The first half are all procedural, the tow truck. The second half are all substantive, the tow hitch. Let's go over them. Step 1, the House subcommittees have to vote on the legislation, vote on the procedural legislation. Step 2, the House floor calls the entire House bill for procedural legislation approved. Step 3, to the Senate floor, the Senate has to vote on the procedural bill approved. Off to the President's table to sign into law, number 4. So we've done 4 steps so far. That's the tow truck. Now time to do the tow hitch. Step number 5, the House subcommittee the House subcommittee calls the vote on the substantive bill, what we were talking about earlier in this video, the 7 House members of the Ways and Means Committee. Step 6, the House floor calls the whole vote on the substantive bill, the tow hitch. Step 7, it's now passed in the House, off to the Senate. The Senate does not just call the vote automatically for the House bill. Rather, the Senate has the 2-day event called the Vote-A-Rama, so you add an extra day. The Vote-A-Rama is a 48-hour window in which they make amendments to the House bill. And finally, step 9, the President signs the substantive bill into law. The tow hitch has now been pulled over the finish line, and the whole thing is now law. 9 steps. And as you see with 9 steps, it ain't going to be done in 1 day. It ain't going to be done in 3 days. And that's ultimately why I'm empowering you, because when you have that information, you're empowered. So if you see someone in the live comments next Monday or next Tuesday when the Memorial Day weekend is over, and they say, why are they dragging their feet? Respond to them. They're not dragging their feet. It takes 9 steps. Well, why can't they send it out sooner? Because the Constitution requires it that way. Well, they don't care. They're going as fast as they can. It's a 9-step process. So ultimately, we stay positive here, but importantly, I want you to keep them informed. And that's why I've launched on this channel what I now call the Purple Power Positivity Patrol. So if you see anyone that's going negative or completely confused about the situation, inform them. Say politely, I think you're confused. This is not how it's done. There's several steps to it. There's no way to do it any faster than that. And then if someone takes a political position on the situation, just sort of, and it goes to the negative side, then you can certainly contact me. I understand that the reconciliation process is a party event. It is a party event in which it may not be your political party. But ultimately, we're not focused on the political party. We're focused on the money. And that's how we're focused on this channel. Remember, the focus of this channel is cashing checks, not tracking checks. So I don't want you to track what day of the week, of the month of July you're getting a fourth stimulus check, because that's not how we do it. I want you to get that money for rent, utilities, homeowners help. I want you to get all that money across the board. And congratulations to all the viewers that continue to get the money, because ultimately there's a lot of money in that third stimulus package. You get it, and you get it right now. And if you need help with getting it, reach out to the volunteers. And with that, thank you for joining me on a big night of Evenings LA. I'm next back with you with Evenings Crypto. So hit that subscribe button right now. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record in 1 year. I got viewers $25 million in EIDL in 2020. Then by late 2020, I got viewers $250,000 of rent, utilities, and homeowners assistance. We continue to fight to get people money. It's your money. You deserve the money. The spirit of this channel is helping one another, keeping positive, keeping focused. So always be focused on that. We aren't tracking checks, we're cashing checks. Stay informed, stay focused. Have a beautiful evening. Hit that like button and consider subscribing. And I'll see you next as we go into Evenings Crypto and then Overnights Crypto. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay here with LA for more.